95.7 The Fan.
Good morning, everybody. It's Ragz and The Bartender. 52 degrees on Wednesday, November 6, 2013. 6:04 out there in Michiana. A rainy Wednesday. Permacloud today, Krager. How you doing?
Yeah, it is that time of year. The permacloud sets in, and then it's here to February.
Till April, I think.
Don't say April. February's long enough.
Hope you're having a great morning out there. Thanks for joining us. Of course, here's how you can get in touch with us. You can join us on Twitter at Ragz the Fan, at Bartender the Fan, at The Fan Michiana. And, of course, you can text us at 45364. And the Pub and Grill Fan toll-free hotline, 855-622-3FAN, 855-622-3326. Busy day in the world of sports. Got Aaron Rodgers' collarbone to talk about. How long's he going to be out? He's saying one thing, Mike McCarthy saying another. Plus, we've got the NBA and high school football coach coming in, Craig. As we get ready for the sectional finals on Friday, Coach Ben Downey going to join us in the 7 o'clock hour.
Nice.
As South Bend St. Joe makes a push here.
Yeah, all Ben Downey does is win in the playoffs, and we'll see how deep they get this year. Well, and they go back downstate.
Be interesting to talk to Ben, too, about the developments with Richie Incognito and how it affects the high school levels here. A, is it going on? And B, have you had a talk with the team since these allegations have come out just to see what's going on at your program?
And that story just gets weirder and weirder as now the reports are that the coaching staff of the Miami Dolphins wanted Incognito in particular to toughen Martin up.
Yeah, Mike Garofalo from Miami was tweeting about it last night, saying that they did want to toughen him up. Now, the question is, you know, we all love the movie A Few Good Men, right?
Yeah.
Did someone order the code red?
Well, what might end up happening is you might see some guys from the coaching staff actually had to send out their resumes.
What about the head coach?
This is going to be
how high does it go?
And who said we need to toughen them up? That hasn't come out yet.
No, wait. What I don't understand and toughening them up. I get that. You want to. How does extorting $30,000 of his money toughen a guy up? I don't understand that.
I don't understand why that's the guy you went to that you wanted to toughen someone up.
Richie Incognito
already voted years ago as the dirtiest player in the NBA.
NFL.
I'm sorry, NBA.
He'd probably be dirty
NFL.
in the NBA, too,
That's
let's be honest.
That's the NBA or the NBA, but I mean, this is the guy you went to say, hey, I want this kid toughened up. Out of all the people on your team, this is the guy that you lean on to say, you know what? Despite the fact that you got kicked off your college team twice, despite the fact that you being a DB cost you, a first-round pick, even despite the fact that you had off the charts combine, this is the guy that you want to say, hey, you're a captain of our team. We want you to toughen Martin up.
And Richie Incognito was caught walking around the streets of Miami yesterday by a reporter and was, asked bluntly, what's going on? How you doing? Everything all right? What's new? What you been doing lately?
Richie, how are you?
Doing well.
What do you have to say about the storm you're in?
You know what? I'm just trying to weather the storm right now, and this will pass.
Yes, it will. With you getting fired.
More than fired.
There's an allegation that you left these voicemails on Jonathan Martin's voicemail. What do you have to say about those?
No comment right now. We're just going to kind of weather the storm, and that's it.
Reaction from Howie Long coming up. Also, Brian Urlacher, Craig, speaking out on Fox Sports Daily, Football Daily on Fox Sports 1, your favorite new channel.
Yes, the channel that nobody watches, and it's primarily because Brian Urlacher, who didn't have a thought his entire career that anybody wanted to hear, talks too much on there. Between him and Gary Payton, that's two reasons why Fox Sports 1, you don't get anybody watching. Because those two idiots are the last two that should have a microphone in front of their mouths.
Well, the interesting thing is it wasn't that long ago, and we are inside the Wings Etc. studios, and brought to you by Swan Lake Resort. You can get in touch with us via text at 45364, also on Twitter. Give us your thoughts, of course, on this topic and so many others we'll get to today on Richie Incognito and everything. Twitter, at Ragz the Fan, at Bartender the Fan, at The Fan Michiana. Craig, the interesting thing, it was, 2 years ago? Hard Knocks was on?
Yes.
And obviously there was no indication at all that this was going on. Now, I don't know what kind of licensing rights, I don't know what kind of editing rights.
There was hazing that went on in that season.
But nothing obviously to this level.
No, it's... If you're Chad Ochocinco, you kind of got off easy because you got fired in episode 2 of that season of Dolphins Hard Knocks.
Well, the real question is, how high does this go? I mean, could it go all the way up to management?
To John Ireland?
Could it? I mean, because if he knows this guy's soft, maybe he ordered the code red.
And that's what we have to figure out that has yet to come out. But again, off the record, those are 3 words here because someone is talking from that locker room that's how this thing got blown out the way it is. And trust me, that when we find out again of who was the one that issued the quote-unquote code red, it's going to come from somebody that was in the know.
Lots to get to today. Of course, Ben Downey, as we mentioned, in the 7 o'clock hour. Also in the 7 o'clock hour, interesting little event going on locally here, Craig, we're going to let people know about, which I love. I love batting cages. So,
yeah.
What is this event now? It's going on RBI. I didn't even know about this place.
RBI Unlimited in Mishawaka is holding an event this Saturday, an open house that they want you to take part of. Batting cages, everything. Now, I realize it's fall. You're not thinking about softball or baseball, but in this situation, you might just want to go check it out. We'll talk to Tim from RBI Unlimited later on this morning.
Yeah, it's on 6th Street, Mishawaka. I didn't even know it existed. So we'll check out the open house. You'll have food, drinks, hitting, prizes, all that kind of fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And you know what? We're heading towards another big weekend in football. And we don't even need to get to Saturday for the big games to start, Craig. Obviously, 2 on Thursday, Oregon, Stanford, and Oklahoma with a big game against Baylor. So we'll see which team stifles the offense the best.
And this might be the biggest Thursday in college football in some time.
You know, I was joking. We jokingly said they should probably move the NFL's game to Friday, like at 1. It should be like a 1 o'clock game on Friday.
Nobody's gonna be watching.
You're talking about the Redskins and Vikings.
This is the
on
one
the
time.
NFL Network.
If you're ever gonna flex a game until Friday afternoon, this is the game.
This game should be played on electronic football for like an hour, and then that's it.
There's big time college football being played.
Oh, it's
on
more
Thursday
than big
night.
time. I mean, it has so many implications. Even here in Notre Dame, you want to see both these games. You root for Oklahoma, you root for Stanford. Strength of schedule moves up 2 major notches.
Yes,
Craig.
because your Notre Dame game this week sucks. It's Pitt.
Yeah, it is. But you still got to. Yeah, it's a snore fest. But it's a road game. You don't want to lose that kind of game. How
can we flex that game out from being an 8 o'clock start?
I don't know how that happens either. I do not understand that.
When did Notre Dame Pitt become prime time watching? I'm sorry, but this team sucks. You barely beat Navy.
Pitt
you
or
barely
Notre Dame
beat
sucks?
Temple. You barely beat Purdue. I'm tired of it. Put them as like a noon start.
Bottom of this hour, Craig's going to go on a rant here. I got to cut him off. The bottom of this hour, we'll get into the hottest team in basketball, not the Heat.
No.
Not the Clippers.
Nope.
Not the Warriors.
Name close.
Not the Bulls. Not the Nets. It's the Indiana Pacers, people. They're 4-0. And guess who they're playing tonight, Craig? Right here on these airwaves. The Chicago Bulls.
And the marginally good Chicago Bulls. Yes.
The marginally good? Is that on their media guide? The marginally good Chicago Bulls? And it's just Derrick Rose's knee.
We got next. These kids can play. Yes, marginally good. It's right on their mantra.
Bulls fever, catch it. Marginally good.
Yes.
612 inside the Wings Etc. studios. Reach out to us via text at 45364 or via what do you call that thing? The Twitter, guys.
Twitter.
Yeah, the Twitter's at Ragz the Fan, at Bartender the Fan, at the Fan Michiana. We'll get to Aaron Rodgers' shoulder here in a couple seconds. As if you listen to his radio show, which I do all the time.
Yes.
I mean, the Aaron Rodgers radio show.
I'm looking for breaking Packer news.
Ironically, also called marginally good.
Yeah.
But
there's nothing else there in between Green Bay and Appleton to listen to.
No, but it was must-listen-to radio yesterday because he does talk about his shoulder. We'll get to that in a couple seconks here. And what does this mean for the Packers now? And they're out there scouring the wire, trying to find Matt Flynn's phone number again.
Because they They erased especially when you upgraded phones, because it's been a couple years since
Right.
he was on the team, so you've upgraded phones, and maybe to have. Whenever you get a new phone, and
McCarthy
you know
lost his number.
what happens is you go to AT&T or whatever, and you have them transfer your contacts. Well, a lot of the contacts don't go over, despite the fact that you want all your contacts to go over. This is what happened in this case. The Packers got a new phone. Mike McCarthy got a new phone number. And Matt Flynn's number didn't transfer to a new phone, a new iPhone 5.
Well, here's what we want you guys in Texas today, and because we got a ton of Packer fans out there. 45364. Who do you want quarterbacking this weekend? Obviously, don't text Aaron Rodgers. We all know you want Aaron Rodgers.
He's out.
But if you could make a wish list, who would you want to take the snaps on Sunday? Text us right now, 45364.
Mark Brunell.
And maybe. And Bears fans, you can text in too. Why not? The little needling.
Oh.
As your backup quarterback's better than their backup quarterback.
P.T. Willis. You can have him.
Oh.
For a nominal fee. You can have P.T. Willis.
Now, there was a guy in there in training camp that that just missed the cut, Craig, that they said was having a great camp, and he was trying to make a comeback. What about Vince Young? Do you call him back up again?
No. Because they really wanted him. They could have had him at a nominal fee.
Well,
it's not like he's not sitting outside next to Ryan Grant. And Ryan Grant's seat, because whenever they need a running back to come in, like week 10, it's usually just sitting outside.
It's Donald Driver's out there, too. They call him Grandpa.
He's dancing.
Yeah, and whatever. I'm surprised they haven't called him whether receiver. And Jermichael Finley is done for the year. That is made official. But if you hear Mike McCarthy, I love this quote here, Craig.
Well, we roll players out on Friday. I'm preparing Seneca to be the starter. That's the way our game planning is gone. But let's not kid ourselves. If he walked in your office and asked for the ball on Saturday, what would you do? So we'll just see what happens.
That's intimations that Aaron Rodgers might ask for the ball on Saturday? Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, ain't going to happen.
We're just rolling people out on Saturday. Just random people.
You just better hope it's Saturday, December 6th that he's asking for the ball. Or not longer.
Yeah, you might want to let him practice a little bit with the first team, because we all saw the last time he was with the first team and he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Seneca Wallace has got some problems, but I thought it was interesting that Mike would even hint at the fact that Aaron Rodgers might ask for the ball on Saturday.
We're just going to roll him out there.
He might ask for it.
He's in denial. When you first break up, this is the denial period that you're hoping that she comes back. You came home and all her stuff was gone. He's in a denial phase. He doesn't realize that Aaron Rodgers is not coming back for a while. I understand it. As a guy that's broken up with a couple women in my day, this time it's not a woman, but he's in that denial stage that he still thinks that Aaron might be ready on Sunday.
Aaron Rodgers' shoulders, Richie Incognito, and the bullying. We've got Bulls Pacers tonight. We've got, of course, Ben Downey, coach for St. Joe, as we get ready for sectional finals on Friday. He'll join us in the next hour. So much to do. And we'll talk to Jim Banstetter, too, for the Michigan-Nebraska game coming up. He will be calling it on 1290 The Fan. So we'll talk to him, get a little Michigan breakdown for us in the 8 o'clock hour. Lots to do. Steve Wilfong later on, too. We'll talk about him in the hours to come. It's Ragz and the Bartender, Inside the Wings, etc. Studios, brought to you by Swan Lake Resort. Don't forget to text us. Who do you want to quarterback the Packers this coming Sunday? 45364 is where you want to text us. If we get any Seneca Wallace, it might trace that phone number. It's probably Seneca Wallace or his dad.
Paul Hornung?
Paul Hornung. Well, that would be. How about just Brett Favre? It's just Brett Favre being Brett Favre.
If you want Brett,
It would be the greatest story in the history. They need a good story right now. They need a good story right now. Let's bring in the guy.
Let's bring Brett Favre back for that one play.
The one play. If the NFL ever needed a good story right now, if the NFL ever needed the hero to come back, and Brett Favre, it's this week.
It's like The Unforgiven?
Yes, it's exactly like that.
Where an old cowboy suits up and comes back.
Saves the day, saves the NFL.
He just shot on our man. He should arm himself.
It's right.
And change my wranglers, because I think I just
changed my wranglers. I soiled myself. Well, now Drew Brees wears the Wranglers, too, so maybe it's getting cool again for the kids. 618, 52
cool,
degrees.
But in a different way.
Yeah, with a K. 52 degrees. We get up to probably about 60, but guess what? Rain all day. So enjoy it. It's Ragz and the Bartender on 95.7 The Fan and thefanmichiana.com. Ragz and The Bartender, 621 on the Fan, 52 degrees. Looking forward to talking to Ben Downey, the head coach of the St. Joe team, ready to play in the sectionals, Craig, against a tough opponent.
Yeah.
New Prairie has not even really sniffed a loss yet, so but if anybody can do it, he can.
Well, he's been there before a couple times.
We'll get into the Richie Incognito bullying thing. Lots of layers to this. This is a made-for-TV miniseries.
Every day something else comes out.
He was picked on as a kid for being heavy when he was growing up, Richie Incognito.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're saying that just, spawned a bullier. And did someone order the code red?
Yeah, because now the reports are they wanted Incognito to toughen him up. Yeah.
I don't doubt that at all.
And that is not
I don't doubt that in for 1 second, Craig.
That does not mean taking him out for steak dinners and, talking to him. And
buying trips for Vegas toughens people's up.
Yes,
I tell you what.
Apparently. And talking about people's
You pay for my stripper.
Mothers.
Get tough.
I tell you what, you talk about my mama. There's going to be some toughening going on.
Yeah, it's really, isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah.
Bring in mama.
If you forget about it.
NBA, we'll get to it in a little bit. Big game tonight, Pacers and Bulls.
Yeah, so we finally found a job. Look, SEC coaches, here's a little ray of sunshine for you. There's one job that Nick Saban wants more than the Alabama job, and we found out via email. People still email every once in a while.
Well, I do understand that, but you cut me off with the NBA to go right into the SEC. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I did want to say, LeBron hit a milestone last night.
What's that?
We're going to get to it.
His mama married another one of his teammates?
It's the beauty of the tease.
Oh.
And also, yes, college football aplenty as it gets started early this week. Why it's on Thursday, how they got the premonition to have these two games on Thursday night to mean this much, that's a rare treat.
ESPN isn't pushing Big Thursday?
I don't know.
They push everything else.
I don't know. I don't know how this happened that this mapped out this way. It's great, though. I love it. And we're asking you today via text, who do you want to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers this weekend? 45364 is where you want to text us. Craig, we have gotten multiple Tim Tebow sightings. Now, I don't know if these are Bears fans texting in or Packers fans under the delusion of the Tim Tebow for Packer quarterback.
Yes,
but it's from the 806, the 358, the 248, the 876.
Nobody better to go 3 for 18 than Tim Tebow. Nobody is better.
Hey, if Seneca Walls can do it, he can.
Nobody plays as a quarterback 3 for 18 with 1 touchdown pass and 2 interceptions than Tim Tebow.
Tebow got hazed, too. You remember he had to have that Friar Tuck haircut?
Yes.
I mean, he got hazed. Actually, he took it like a man.
If he wanted to. He actually wants to wear it every day, but he doesn't think it'd be appropriate.
Well, yeah.
Because of his religion.
Probably.
But he wanted to wear the Friar Tuck every day.
And, of course, Aaron Rodgers has his radio show, and this collarbone thing might be worse than others are leading on.
I do have a fractured collarbone. That's a significant injury. We'll know more about the severity and the timetable later this week. There's nothing that has been talked about with the doctors, myself, anyone who represents me.
Aaron Rodgers on the radio sounds very compelling.
It's a difficult injury because there's not specific type of rehab you can do. You just have to wait for the bone to heal. So that's going to be the frustrating part. I feel like I've been a quick healer in the past. I'm hopeful that this will be on the short end of whatever prognosis comes up.
If you thought the grotto was filled a couple weeks ago as we prayed for Tommy Reese to get healed up from his neck, just think about it. There's nothing else to do in Green Bay. All you do is milk cows and wait for Aaron Rodgers to get healthy. That's it. That is it.
45364 is where you want to text us. Tweet us at Ragz the Fan, at Bartender the Fan, at the Fan Michiana. Of course, Matt Flynn is an option. However, he would need to go through waivers, Craig.
Yes.
And wouldn't it just be like the Vikings to say, screw you, we want him?
Mm-hmm. Because they already have 3 quarterbacks. 1 out of 4.
They all suck. You might as well.
You have another quarterback that you're not going to play. You have no intention of playing.
The Bears pick him up,
but it screws the Packers. Why not?
Yeah, the Lions. They all put waiver claims in for him.
It really would.
I don't even know if that's a bad thing though. What makes us think Matt Flynn could come in here and do the job? He had 1 good game.
That's it.
That didn't matter. It was week 17. Boy, did he cash in? Who cashed in more, him or Joe Flacco with 1 pass?
He's the white Scott Mitchell. Wait, Scott Mitchell's white too. But he is. He's just got in the right place, right time. He had one good game, but it just happened to be on national television near the end of the season that we had to watch.
Mike McCarthy talking about the injury.
The information last night was not clear after the game. The doctors felt much better today than they did last night based on the new information. So with that, we're preparing Seneca Wallace and getting him ready to be the starter.
Oh, brother.
He is.
The Nile ain't just a river in Egypt.
He is that guy. I keep telling you, he's the guy that, look, he treated his girlfriend wrong. She left him. And he's sitting in the apartment with all her stuff gone. It's just his stuff in there now. It's just praying. All right, she's going to come back any second. I'm apologize, and she's going to make me dinner. That's what Mike McCarthy is.
And how do you get Seneca Wallace prepared?
He's played a lot of games. He's been in the league a long time. I look for him to improve with a week of preparation. We're playing an uncommon opponent in the Philadelphia Eagles, new coaching staff. We got a lot to do as a staff coming off Monday night game. I have all the confidence in the world in Seneca.
Why?
Jeff George played a lot of games, but you don't want him as your starter either.
The funny thing
just
is,
because you played in a lot of games does not necessitate you being a good NFL quarterback.
The funny thing is, from the 370 just came across Jeff George to quarterback this Sunday for the Packers. I don't know. Look.
Steve DeBerg played a lot of games, but at 50-something years old, you don't want him as your starting quarterback either.
This is why you need a good backup quarterback, because 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, you're going to need him at some point during the course of the year. They had ample enough time to get someone in there. It's called a preseason. Look into it.
There's this thing. It happens every year right around April. I know they try to move it back for next year, but it's called the draft.
There's another one.
You draft the damn quarterback, and that way you don't end up in a situation, you idiot. Oh, I'm sorry. Scott Tolzien has been activated from the practice squad yesterday.
That guy's good.
Yes, the former Wisconsin quarterback, Scott Tolzien, has come to save you.
Look out.
That guy couldn't throw a football through
what happened?
Through a pillow fight. What the heck? Scott Tolzien is terrible.
Now, wait a minute.
Because we all were ranting a couple years ago in the draft.
Yeah.
You guys remember?
I saw some signs of the game. Tolzien the other day.
People were moving up.
Oh, yeah.
To grab Scott Tolzien in the draft. You remember that, right?
Oh, yeah.
How teams were fighting to get to Scott Tolzien in the draft.
Are
you kidding me?
45364 is where you want to text us. Of course, the Pub and Grill fan toll-free hotline, 855-6223-FAN. Packer fans, let's hear from you. Who do you want to be your quarterback on Sunday? You've got pretty much a all-you-can-eat buffet to choose from.
Yes.
I mean, Jeff Garcia's put in phone calls. Obviously, he wants to play again. Brett Favre. Vinny Testaverde is probably still alive.
It's kind of like a potpourri. You get to pick.
But why not Vince Young? I think I would see a Vince Young. He
knows there for 3 weeks.
He was there. Would you rather have Vince Young or Seneca Wallace quarterback? I say Vince Young. I mean, the upside is so much higher.
It's a weird game in Green Bay that they haven't ever had to play before, but it's called Pick Your Crappy Black Quarterback.
Oh, plenty of teams have had this game. This game has been around for a long time. The Packers just haven't had to deal with it.
Yes, it's hard for them to play it up there because, again, Appleton, Wisconsin is only 30 minutes away, and Appleton, Wisconsin is not synonymous. That's where you go to wash your white sheets.
Yes, exactly.
So it's a hard pill to swallow.
The highest selling item up there is Clorox. Well, you know what? Too bad. You got to be prepared, This happens to the best of teams. They lose a quarterback and something, the Patriots were ready when Bledsoe went down.
Yes, because what did they do? Oh, they drafted a
quarterback.
And by the way, and we talked about yesterday, the Packers are so deep at every other position. They've done a phenomenal job over a decade. I mean, even when Ron Wolf was a GM, of preparing themselves in case one guy goes down. They always had a backup. Well, in this instance, you have 7 rounds of a draft, and you chose not to draft a quarterback that can fill in.
How many years have Aaron Rodgers has been taking hit after hit after hit, and he's been getting up. I mean, it's a little bit of arrogance to think that this guy's never going to get hurt.
Syndrome too. This is where the Brett Favre syndrome has bit them, because they had Mr. Iron Man, Mr. Invincible, who went through his entire Packer career and never missed a game. So they thought, you know what, we'll roll with Aaron, and We're not going to worry about grabbing a backup. Well, now you need a damn backup quarterback.
From the 707, how about Jimmy Clausen?
He's out there.
Well, let's not go a step further. How about Brady Quinn?
Well, there's not no-name quarterbacks out there floating around. Steve Berline's not doing anything. He works on Saturdays. He's off Sundays.
Now, too bad for not being ready.
Kalahade.
Caleb Haney's probably still around, right?
Yes, he is around. He's just waiting for his new gig.
Well, we wish him the best of luck, but not really.
No. Thanks for...
It's been a hard NFL season, Craig. I mean, if you think about all the
injuries,
not just the
players,
but just think about the year the NFL's had. You start with Aaron Hernandez.
Yep.
You got the lawsuit paying out $750 million. They probably should have paid even more money for that.
They will
eventually. You got all the injuries to major stars, major wide receivers, as a matter of fact. You got this Richie Incognito thing. I mean, you got the crappy games on Thursdays and Monday nights. Yep. I mean, the product right now, I mean, if it's ever been Teflon, it's going to be proven right now. Yes. Because if NFL's ever going to take a hit, now's the time.
Yes.
Outside of,
the only good thing is that Mike Mayock is relegated to the worst game of the week.
And
Thursday nights.
And it's not Notre Dame.
Well,
he does the worst and the second worst game of every week.
Thursday night football, as you mentioned, it's
bad.
It's the one game it's relegated now to the one game. You know it's on. You're like, whatever.
It's for fantasy football purposes only.
That's it.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And now it's so bad they had to go and get 2 college games and say, hey, let's get it on Thursday quick. We'll distract the Redskins and Vikings.
This is the mothership saying, hey, we got you.
Hey, let's hear from Brian Urlacher, Howie Long next about hazing and bullying in the NFL. More on the Richie Incognito story. Back end of the hour, we'll get into the NBA. Bulls and Pacers coming up tonight. And yes, LeBron reached another milestone, believe it or not.
Yes.
It is 6:33. Ragz and the Bartender. Time for an update on 95.7 A Fan and thefanmichiana.com. Ragz and the Bartender, 6:38 on the Fan on Wednesday, November 6th. A lot of former players coming out talking about this Richie Incognito story, Krager. And we'll get back into Aaron Rodgers and who you think should be the starting quarterback. I'm not even going to read the tweets that say Rick Meyer, so stop sending them in. Oh, wait, I think I just read one. Who do you want the quarterback to be, Packer fans, for you on Sunday? And it's not Seneca Wallace. He's not the answer. Text us at 45364.
He's the answer, but you don't want to know what the question is.
He's the answer to a different question.
Yes.
Oh, man. And we'll get into more in the NFL news and notes. And a great advisor in the sky had said, hey, what if you did this? Of the playoff teams that are potentially ready to go right now, is there anyone out there who could lose their starter like Aaron Rodgers and still make the playoffs?
Oh. Like you wake up. What was the movie that it came out like almost 20 years ago? But remember the kid from Growing Pains? He made that movie and we're still here or whatever it was.
Kirk Cameron, Left Behind.
Yes, Left Behind. What if you woke up and your favorite quarterback from a particular team is gone?
Look, I've been doing radio. I've been doing radio for 15 years now.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, I never thought I'd ever have to reference a Kirk Cameron film.
But you woke up one morning and your favorite quarterback is gone from a particular team.
Can't we do a different movie than Left Behind?
That movie, the only thing that was worse than that movie was the sequel.
Many people don't even know there was a sequel, and that was based on a series of books. Of Christian books, Craig.
Yes.
And,
Left Behind.
I tell you what, Craig, you are left field with this one.
But I'm just saying that here's the premise.
Well, do what was the one where I Am Legend, where he wakes up and nobody else is there?
I guess we could go there too, but that movie was the beginning of the end of Will Smith's career. Now he's making movies for his kid.
Well, what the hell was Left Behind for Kirk Cameron? That was the beginning of his career?
That was the beginning of the end of his career. We haven't even seen him because we were all left behind. He went on his own tangent. But again, the premise of it, though,
I understand,
was that you wake up and all the Christians are gone. Is that right? Or majority of the Christians are gone? Well, in this case, all the good quarterbacks are gone.
They pretty much are. They pretty much are.
Which NFL team is affected the worst?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll take a look at the playoff teams that are still in contention and who could potentially withstand this kind of blow.
Yeah.
Craig, a lot has been coming out on this incognito thing. There are so many layers to this, it's ridiculous. And so many people who've known Richie Incognito for a long time, including Howie Long. Richie played with his son. Here's what Howie had to say about Incognito.
Richie played with one of my boys in St. Louis, and I've been a fan of Richie's. Part of the reason was because I know Richie has gone through some struggles, and I'd gotten the impression that Richie had kind of found his way down there and was being a leader on that football team. This is not leadership. And to cross the lines that he crossed in terms of the verbal, the racial slurs and the voicemails and the texts, that's not a line, it's a 10-foot high wall. It's clear. You don't cross it. That's the bottom line.
The real question here, and the tip of the iceberg is, how much do the coaches know? How much did they know? Did they order the code red, Craig? I mean, obviously they didn't tell Incognito, hey, leave racial voice messages and all that specific, but did they say, just like the movie Few Good Men, toughen this kid up, do what you got to do? And
they asked the absolute wrong person. It's like kind of asking the wolf to make sure the chickens are safe.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't tell Richie Incognito, of all the people on the team, that's the last guy, hey, go toughen this guy up. You know his history. I mean, if you're an NFL team, you know it's been well documented how big of a DB this guy is. You don't tell that guy to go toughen somebody up.
Is there a point in time where you know it's not working with Jonathan Martin too, and then maybe you go to him and say, all right, let's back off, guys. Obviously this kid's got some issues where it's not going to work out. It's going to get out of control, which it eventually did.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan Martin's not a rookie anymore. You should have known by now that, look, this technique isn't working, and it's getting out of control.
But the coaches went to him this past spring where, again, he's not a rookie anymore. This is year freaking 2. Well, I mean, why even asking him, of all people, to toughen him up?
Brian Urlacher was asked about his hazing, and he said after the rookie year, that was it.
Well, hazing is hazing. That wasn't quite hazing, I don't think. And you don't get hazed after your rookie year, I don't believe. At least the locker room I was in for 13 years, there was very minimal hazing, if any. And after your rookie year, it was over with. You didn't get donuts. You didn't get picked on. It was done after that.
Yeah. I mean, this is criminal what he's done to this guy, extorting money, the racial slurs. And this happened in any other walk of life. The NFL wouldn't be investigating. The police department would be investigating.
And again, the only reason that he kept on picking on his kid was that he knew he could get away with it. Now, there's a reason why it ended with Brian Urlacher. Because Brian Urlacher's crazy. You don't haze that fool.
No,
you don't haze the guy that'll show up at your house in the middle of the night looking to kick your butt. You only haze the guys that you know that you can get away with it.
Yeah. And
you don't haze. Look, it's like Richie Incognito. You'll never hear this story. Richie Incognito haze James Harrison. You want to know why? Because James Harrison will kill you. He'll kill you.
He intimidated Alden Smith. Yeah, not a good idea. Why don't you come to my trunk? Let's figure this out.
No doubt.
What are all these weapons for? Well,
back in the day, did you ever hear Carl Banks? Hazes LT.
Yeah,
why?
No, that's
because LT will kill you.
And then throw a prostitute at you. Teenage prostitute, no less.
Yes.
Well, Brian Urlacher knows of Richie Incognito.
I think the intimidation factor was huge here as well, not just for Jonathan Martin, but for the whole team. Yeah. Seems to be like Richie Incognito intimidates everyone on that team, probably the trainers, the coaches, that no one wants to say much to him, I'm assuming, because he is a pretty fearsome guy. You look at him, he's a big boy, he benches 600 pounds, all that good stuff, but no one wants to stand up to him. He's an intimidating guy, and he uses that in his favor to scare guys like Jonathan Martin.
I don't doubt that at all.
And he's also in a place of power. He also is the team captain.
Yeah.
He's voted a good guy award.
He's on the leadership council.
Yes. And his PSA plays before every home game, telling people how to act responsibly during the game.
Yeah.
This is the guy. This is the guy that they Richie, we really want you to film this PSA. We want you to tell people in the stands how to act before games.
There's something else to this that nobody's really brought up. What about a little roid rage here, Craig, too? It's a big boy. You know? What about a little roid rage?
Yeah, would not surprise me.
This guy's running around. That's the PSA that they edit that part out. He's actually got the syringe and he got hi, and he's rubbing his arm at the beginning of the PSA. If you see it, hi, I'm Richie Incognito.
Oh,
you guys need to calm down. Brian Urlacher played with Rich.
Yeah, I played against Richie as well when he was in St. Louis, and he was the guy during the week that we coaches watch out for. If you're around the pile, look out for this guy. He's dirty. He's this. And he was, though, the most dirtiest player in the NFL. And when those games I played against him, he wasn't that way. He wasn't like that. He was actually a cool guy on the field. Never been around him other than that, though.
Can Roger Goodell say something here? We're still waiting on he needs a press conference here, doesn't he?
He's sitting this one out.
He did,
and
this is the underbelly of the
out.
NFL, especially if you take the steroids angle. This guy's got a little roid rage. He's bullying. There's some problems here he needs to address.
You sit this one out right now if you're Roger Goodell, because the players' union is already in a conundrum if you look at it.
If you think
because
about it, they got to
represent both players. They have to
Yeah.
represent one.
Yeah.
Because here you have an issue with Martin where you have created a hostile work environment.
Yeah.
On the other end, if Richie Incognito never works in the NFL again, well, he's like, okay, you have put me in a situation where I can't work anymore. I wouldn't want to be as part of the players' union right now because of the fact you have to represent both of these guys.
It is a Pandora's box is wide open. This is Armin Contains all over this.
Yes.
This is investigative reporting at its best.
And
you watch. There's going to be some stories on this.
Roger Goodell saying, my name is Leonard, and I ain't in it. I'm not touching this one right now. I'm going to let this heat just simmer, boil, and then when it calms down, I'll come out with a statement.
It's Ragz and the Bartender inside the Wings Etc. studios and brought to you by Swan Lake Resort. Hey, get in the conversation with us via text at 45364. Also Twitter at Ragz the Fan, at Bartender the Fan, at the Fan Michiana. We'll pull off some more layers of this later on in the show when we have Coach Ben Downey on the high school football coach. I'm interested to see the conversations he's had with his kids since this has come out, because this is a huge story that we talked about yesterday. It just blows the cover off the NFL. It's not just the NFL. It's a microcosm of society right now.
It's something that's been talked about a lot as far as the bullying and everything else. And now we finally have someone big enough and an incident big enough that everyone's talking about it.
And, of course, our topic today, who do you want to be your quarterback, Green Bay Packer fans? 45364 from the 930. As a true Packer fan, the worst has happened. There is no QB to pick up except maybe Flynn. Now, there is a bright side. They play Philly, Giants, Vikings while Rodgers is out.
Yes.
So that is a bright side. And Eddie Lacy is running his you-know-what off.
Yes, that's right, because what they've done is they found a workout plan for Eddie Lacy. Yeah. We're going to run you until you're tired as hell. And then we're going to run you some more stuff. It's called the Forrest Gump plan.
Coming Sunday.
And it's worked.
Coming Sunday with Seneca Wallace, the read option to Green Bay. They might boycott outside the stadium if the read option showed up in Green Bay.
Oh, man.
Like Vince Lombardi would come out of his grave if the read option shows up.
This is really, was that Lethal Weapon 3? But he's black. They didn't realize that Seneca Wallace was a black quarterback because that's something that doesn't happen in Green Bay.
See, that's more like it. See, you just referenced Lethal Weapon 2, not Left Behind. Come on, Krager. 4 people knew what you were talking about. Unfortunately, I was one of them.
Yeah.
I know our consultant's another one.
It's one of those things where we all got tricked into movies because we read the box.
What part of Kirk Cameron made you read that?
Wait a minute. In Blockbuster, though, back in the day when there was actual video stores, we'd read the box, the back of the box. It's like, oh, Kirk Cameron's in this. It's got to be good, right?
No, I never read that in my life.
But you did read a box where you took the movie home.
Right.
And it sucked, right?
Oh, I've read that box.
Well, that was Left Behind for me.
What was the one where he switched the bodies with Dudley Moore, like father, like son? Did you read that box, too? Was that a good one?
Man, I just grabbed it sight unseen because Dudley Moore, I thought it was like Trading Places, too. Or what was the movie with him and Eddie Murphy?
Best Defense.
Best Defense.
I know all this stuff. It's a problem for people.
Yes, because you worked where?
Worked at a video store.
All righty, I rest my case.
I never recommended Left Behind, though. I can tell you that right now. Hey, the NBA's got a big game in it tonight, especially locally. The Bulls and Pacers, after the Pacers moved to 4-0 last night. We talk about that game and get you updated on LeBron James's latest milestone. It's 6:49, Ragz and the Bartender. Good morning to you. 52 degrees out there on Wednesday, November 6th at 95.7 The Fan and thefanmichiana.com. Ragz and the Bartender, good morning to you. It's 6:54, a couple minutes on the NBA here because we got a big one tonight. Pacers and Bulls down in Indianapolis. And, of course, D-Rose and the boys playing the 4-0 Indianapolis Pacers. We'll get to Ben Downey in a couple minutes here, the head coach of St. Joe South Bend St. Joe, they get ready for their sectional final game against New Prairie. Going to be a tough one for them, too. Craig, last night, the boys in Indianapolis were doing it again. Paul George lighting it up.
Watson fakes the three, bounces once, gives it up, left corner, 3-ball George, bang. Boy, Paul George is having another terrific night. That's his 4th three.
And I said before the beginning of the year, Craig, Paul George for MVP. Nice start. I know we're only 4 games in, but, I mean, this guy took America by storm last year, and now he's keeping it at that level.
Yeah, 31 points, 10 rebounds last night with 4 assists. But again, the unfortunate thing for Paul George is that he plays in Indianapolis.
I know.
Which 2 years ago, nobody was going to the games at all. And if you're in a bigger market, then they probably would be propping him up. Because the NBA loves to prop up kids that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because it's so rare that happens.
Did Reggie Miller ever sniff the MVP? I mean, I know it was
He
tough
sniffed it a couple times.
because of Michael.
Especially when Mike was gone and they had their run. He sniffed it. But again, it was Reggie Miller, and it took him a long time before he actually made the name of Reggie Miller. Took him a couple Eastern Conference Finals and everything else before people realized, hey, this kid is the second best player in his generation of his family, and also one of the best players, on top 50 players in the NBA.
They jump out to a 15-point lead in the first quarter over the Pistons and win going away, even though they only scored 9 points in quarter number 2. 99-91 your final, and now the Bulls head down there tonight, Krager.
Yeah.
And the Bulls just plodding along here as they go by their point guard. They really do.
Yes. And
they go as he goes.
Hence the reason why they aren't looking so hot right now, because their point guard, who should have came back at the end of last season but opted not to, and now he's struggling through the beginning part of the new season, despite the fact he hasn't played competitive basketball except for in practice for almost 2 years.
Bulls Pacers pregame 6:30 tonight, and of course 7 o'clock tip off. Tibbs trying to figure out a way to get this club clicking here, Craig, as they are 1-2 now. They won their home game by a thread.
Yes.
Over the Knicks, and they did not play well doing it.
But then they lost to the 76ers over the weekend and blowing a 20-point lead in the process.
Now the reports, you hear the latest out of Chicago is that Derrick Rose is too nice. That's the new phrase now. Oh. He's too nice, and that's part of the reason why
not in practice.
He's not. They talk about maybe toughening people up.
Oh,
maybe.
Richie Incognito
has now been hired by the Bulls.
Yes, to toughen D Rose up. So take him out back.
Well,
and
that's,
he can afford a $30,000 trip to Vegas.
Well, they're saying it because he's not getting to the line a lot, Craig. If you look at his stats, he's not getting a lot of free throws, and they're thinking because of his reputation now of being too nice around the league, he's not getting those hard fouls called against him.
He's also so quick to want to pull up and with this new jumper that he's had in the year and a half that he's been off, but it's not hitting. It's not hitting, D. Your game is predicated on getting to the basket and either hitting the shot or getting fouled. Well, I don't know, but you don't look like Glenn Rice to me. Take your butt to the basket. That is your game. Glenn Rice can shoot outside. Your game right now is still predicated on getting to the damn basket.
And here's a big deal now on our Facebook page. Go check it out. You can get there through thefanmichiana.com. We've got tickets for Friday night's game, Utah Jazz. Only on Facebook, and today we pick some winners. So you're going to want to go there. If you don't like us already, well, what the hell's wrong with you?
You're crazy.
And two, even if you do like us, register to win at our Facebook page right now. Get there through thefanmichiana.com, and it's Bulls Utah Jazz on Friday night.
Nice.
So think Carmelo coming out of retirement for that game, maybe?
No.
That's too bad. Anyway, so tonight, you give them a puncher's chance down in Indianapolis. I think they're going to get killed tonight, Craig. I really do.
Killed, huh?
I do.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's all hands on deck. I mean, those are always fun games, regardless of whether the teams are good or bad. The Bulls-Pacers series is one of those. I mean, that's like you're playing your cousin. Your cousin that you see about 4 or 5 times a year. They come in for holidays.
It's your younger cousin. It's your younger cousin that you used to pick on all the time.
Exactly. See, it's always good. It's always a good game.
And then the next time, you haven't seen him in a couple of years. The next time you see them, man, you got big.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. That's it. Bulls Pacers is like playing your cousin, and you're just thinking,
what happened to you?
Man,
in your Wheaties.
That's right.
LeBron James last night, Craig, reaches a milestone.
James from downtown, 30-point night for LeBron James.
He ends up with 35. They beat the Raptors 104-95. You have any idea what this milestone could be?
I have no clue. Sure you're going to tell me, though.
With a putback dunk with 2:31 in the first quarter, which got him to 10 points,
yes,
he became the 5th player in NBA history to score 10 points or more 500 consecutive games.
Really?
500 consecutive games. Now, I ask you this. Name the other players. 10 points or more, 500 consecutive games.
Oh, wow.
Well, you can get ones. One's pretty easy. One's, I mean, you grew up.
Jordan?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay, that's one. 10 points or more.
There's 3 others.
Can't be Kobe because Kobe's had some 2-point games in his career.
Nope. Now, 2 have the same last name but not related.
Ewing.
Yes, Ewing. JR and
yes,
Pat
JR
Ewing.
and Patrick Ewing, they both.
All right, I'll tell you what. We got to take a break and hit the top of the hour. Think about it. There's 3 others, okay? 3 others. 2 have the same last name, but not related. Okay. All right? It's Ragz and The Bartender, 7 o'clock. Don't cheat. No looking online here. All right? I want you to get this one. We're going to talk to the coach, Ben Downey, on the other side here. St. Joe is taking on New Prairie, and we'll talk about the sectional finals in a couple seconds. It's Ragz and The Bartender. 52 degrees out there on 95.7 The Fan. And don't even go to Google right now. Don't do it.
It's just the computer.
95.7 The Fan, the Fan Machine.